on a Wednesday night here in Australia on Bitcoin Jason. Retail investment inquiries are picking up. So today, as I was doing my curating and looking after the businesses that accept Bitcoin Cash in the Bitcoin Cash City here, um, I've noticed today was an odd day. Today I had people just calling me out of the blue, coming into my office, um, approaching me like messages and stuff like that, wanting to know about Bitcoin Cash and how to get some. Strangely enough, there's a lot of ambiguity on how to get Bitcoin and what to do with it. And so the great thing about the Bitcoin Cash City is not only do you can basically buy Bitcoin Cash and have it stack stats for a later profit margin compared in fiat currency if you're into that, but you can also spend it here too. So it's great for our merchants because what I teach is this. I always teach about cost averaging. Don't go in if you got $200,000. Don't just go $200,000 and just dump 200K onto the coin straight up. You know what I mean? I do a thing called cost averaging. So you might get $1,000 a week, or you might get $20 a week, or even $10 a week, or you might be $1. You might just do social media and get tips on social media. The important thing is you start having your own Bitcoin Cash portfolio, because Bitcoin Cash is the same as Bitcoin, and it's got the ability to do what Ethereum does. And so what I've noticed is since now we've broken the 150 merchant mark in the Bitcoin Cash City, people are noticing shops that are around. What I would like to see is more and more people use the Bitcoin Cash to spend at these merchants. So we keep the community strong. We keep these merchants strong. A wise man said to me, we got to use them or we lose them. Okay. So it's great having merchants on board that accept Bitcoin Cash. And even though it's free to accept it, you know what I mean? Most merchants will drop off if no one's spending it there. I don't know why. I mean, it costs nothing to accept it. Yeah. Particularly if you're a cafe or something like that, cup of coffee, you can easily underwrite yourself. Yeah. So these are getting a lot of inquiries today, and it's like 9 o'clock, and I'm just finished doing an educational session on Bitcoin Cash, how it works in the real world, how it's not just something you speculate on, but it's actually a currency that you can use, and instead of the USD or Australian dollar or whatever currency you can name. And so what I teach is you buy some and you have and you save that, and then you spend the rest. So if you get $20, save $10 and maybe spend the $10 and support a merchant. That way, by you doing that, you build up, you're keeping the infrastructure alive, and you're pushing up the growth of the ecosystem, which in long-term effects will have the whole Bitcoin Cash price rises. Remember, the BTC got up to what, $80,000 or whatever it is. It's now 30,000 Australian, right? 10,000 Bitcoins were used to buy 2 pizzas, a garlic bread, and a bottle of Coke, right? 10,000 Bitcoins. I buy pizza, nearly every second fortnight, or every fortnight, every second week. And it cost me, I think it was 1.55 BCH. So we've come so far where it doesn't cost 10,000 Bitcoins now to buy a pizza meal deal. You know what I mean? So we keep that infrastructure alive. The more merchants that are having customers go through their door, the more they're going to stay on. And the more likely other merchants, like when people like myself come up and say, do you accept Bitcoin Cash, and help them get on board and help them show them how to use Bitcoin Cash in their business, it helps them It encourages them because they see so much traffic and buzz going around. And now's a really good time. You know, even if Bitcoin goes down to like 100 USD or 50 USD, it's still good because your cost averaging is the same. So just say you get $200 a week, right? And you put that aside and you buy Bitcoin Cash, right? Well, you know, just a while ago, you would have been struggling to get one BCH, right? Now you can get 1.5 Bitcoin Cash or nearly 2 Bitcoin Cashes, right? If your expenditure is the same, and I keep repeating this because this is how you can save and make money in the long term, because Bitcoin works in a 4-year cycle. 1 year bear market, another year sort of stabilizing, then people catch on, yeah, I feel safe to invest, and then it starts going up, and this is when all the people that come on, they come on the way up when they should have been buying it now. This is the time where you should be accumulating now. When the prices, when everyone's in fear, this is when you accumulate now, because it runs in a 4-year cycle, and I've been in this since 2016, guys. It's not my first rodeo. I remember when it went up to Bitcoin Core went up to 25,000 Australian and then dropped back down to 3. Right, I did buy it at $1,000, so I still made a $2,000 profit. And then again, when it was at $6,000 Australian, it went right up to $80,000 Australian. And now it's around about 30. You know what I mean? So it goes in cycles like this. Now, Bitcoin Cash is, in my estimate, about 4 to 8 years behind BTC in the way of price chart growth. Right? We had the split from BTC, so we forked off like that. A lot of people sold and sold their BCH, which brought it down low, and then it rose up again. We had another fork off with Satoshi Vision, and then later eCash. So we're still on a really good trend. Now that we've got good governance in place, we've got like a constitution where when someone comes up with a good idea, they bring it first, have it operating before it gets accepted in the wider community. It's basically brought in stability into the Bitcoin Cash community, and it's growing. I mean, in Australia, it's growing where I live. I basically live off it fully. You've got St. Martin's and St. Kitts where you can live off it fully. You got India now taken off. You've got Dubai. You got Dubai going on. So in Uganda, the Philippines, Nigeria, Bangladesh, you got all these. Bangladesh is, I think, is actually illegal or something like that. So, but people are still. I've still paid my contractors in Bitcoin Cash to do thumbnails and stuff like that. So it is growing. So we've got a core base now. We're starting to expand, and so as adoption, how do you spend Bitcoin Cash? It's difficult because people are worried about tax implications in Australia. All right, so because I'm Australian, this fits in with me, right? So because I'm not a trader, I don't have to worry about capital gains tax within the first 12 months, right? So the tax, basically the tax law, so what happens is I get paid, I pay my tax, everything's BCH, right? So I pay my tax, everything's BCH. When you're using it as currency, right, it's tax-free. There's no tax on that, right? If I choose to run it through a business, right, then you got to report that wallet to the business, and it's just the same as pay-as-you-go, right? So you're taxed on your income, your ins and outs, your ingoings and outgoings. So you can actually write off any losses with the tax department, and if you earn, your GST, you can claim your GST and all that sort of stuff. We've got tax agents here in Townsville. We've got one that we just onboarded last week. You can find that video on the Bitcoin Cash City YouTube channel. And then we've got other ones that deal with corporates as well. But go see Malcolm. He's on Tharrogale Drive in Kerwin here in Townsville, the Bitcoin Cash City. he'll sort you out. So that's sort of like a little plug for him. But basically, guys like me that basically use it as currency, there's no tax on that. So it can go up and down, whatever. It doesn't worry me because I'm getting regular imports, right? So it might drop 30% in 1 week. It doesn't worry me because, at the beginning of a new week, I get fresh BCH, right? I get fresh Bitcoin Cash. I spend my living expenses and then I save, right? The difference is my ability to save is greater than it was when Bitcoin was at very high, right? When Bitcoin Cash was at a high level, I might be able to save half a Bitcoin or half a BCH, right? Now I'm able to save 3 or 4, 5 BCH. You know what I'm saying? So when Bitcoin Cash goes back up to 1,000 or even 500, all those losses that appear on paper are made up and equalized out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to do a special video on this one because I think it's a key thing that people are missing out is people should not be worried about the price. People get on board when the price is going up. That's not when you should be going up, getting involved. When prices are going up and people are starting to get greedy, that's when I sort of like pull back. Well, I don't pull back. I cost average, but it's more like when people get greedy, that's when you're sort of getting, okay, this is probably the time where I can sell some and make a profit. You know what I mean? When prices are low and fearful and stuff like that, that's the time to accumulate more because your long-term savings, doesn't matter how hard you work, you will not be able to save what you can save if you're stacking stats now. For example, just say Bitcoin Cash is at $100 and you get $1,000, right? And make it simple maths, and you put away $500. That's 5 Bitcoin Cash, right? 5 of that. When it goes up to $1,000, well, guess what? You made $5,000. You know what I'm saying? So, when you cost average, it works out. So because it's limited edition, it eventually rises up like that as a whole graph. Forget the, ups and downs like that. Overall, cost averaging, it goes up because it's limited supply. And so people are contacting me out of the blue, which is great because something I was talking to my team members today is like, it's great. We've got 170 merchants, but we need more people going in shopping it because I know, we've got like 50 people in our office, they all earn Bitcoin Cash and they all spend Bitcoin Cash. So, there's at least $10,000 to $20,000 a month in Townsville being spent in Bitcoin Cash expenditure at different merchants, right? We need to try and get more of an awareness of what's going on and help and encourage people to buy and save, which will benefit them long term, but also to spend a little bit to encourage our merchants to stay on board. Because a lot of these merchants that underwrite themselves, that don't cash out straight away, they need those inputs all the way down and all the way up so they can overall make a profit. We want them to make a profit. It's not good to only spend our Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash. You can't spend your Bitcoin these days unless you've got a Visa card. It's not good to spend your Bitcoin Cash when prices are good, because when the price goes down, then the merchant's got to be out of pocket. But if that merchant's got a lot of imports up and down, right, and then goes back out, it evens it out. The risk, the volatility sort of disappears because it evens out. And I know this is because I live this lifestyle. So yes, over the month it's like dropped 30%, but I haven't felt that 30% because I cost average. My expenditure, I pay all my bills, I pay all my liabilities and my groceries and all that. When I earn it, I go shopping spree and then I save. I always save. Remember, guys, the Bible says that you should be at least saving 20% of your income at least. save 20%. If you can save 20% of your income, just say you get $100. If you can get yourself disciplined, to save that $20 and put that away, right? That's good, right? 30% is even better. So you say you get 30%, so you get $100 a week, right? $30 in Bitcoin Cash. You save $20. You spend the $10 to support the local merchants. By you doing that, that's like an act of charity, in a way. It's an act of supporting your future. It's sort of like advertising in a way. A lot of these rich people, they advertise and they philanthropy and all that, but that really all it is business promotion for themselves, right? But by you spending Bitcoin Cash, you help more merchants stay connected, stay in the community. You encourage them to stay on board, and you also ease the pain. If they had a sale when it's at the top and it drops right down, you help ease the pain, right? Do you think spending Bitcoin Cash is difficult because people are worried about tax? Oh yeah, I already answered that one, Jade. Good day, buddy. G'day, Maxi. How you going? Yeah. So spending Bitcoin Cash, right? Peer-to-peer is not a taxable event. If you want to claim it as tax, so this is what I do. So I've got a business wallets, right? So my business income is in 3 wallets, and then in my personal wallets, I've got like 14 of them. Do you count it wise to spread Bitcoin Cash during the dip? Yeah, I spend it during the dip. Because you're cost averaging your stacking, and you're cost averaging your spending. It's still the same. If I get $1,000, I save 500 and I spend the 500 on my living expenses each week. It's still the same, right? The difference is as it goes down, the value that you save goes higher. The more stats, the more bits is greater, and the more bits the merchant gets is greater. So when it starts going back up, it will start basically getting back to normal to what they get at purchase price. That's it. That's if they haven't cashed out and that in the dip cycle. So if you've been spending on the way down and then you continue spending on the way up, the merchant there will basically be in profit. You will be in profit because you cannot physically save enough money to save if you put those stats away. Okay, so don't get it wrong that it's bad to spend money when the market is down. You cost average your spending, right, and your saving. You cost average it out. Okay, because if these currencies collapse, if the US dollar collapse and stuff like that, we want a strong community that we can still trade and do all that sort of stuff when the market collapses. You know what I'm saying? And the market is collapsing. So at the moment, we've got a lot of people selling, adjusting, getting out of debt, selling different things out. That's why all the markets are crashing. Hi, Fanta. Good to see you, my man. So is there any other questions? I was just basically saying how retail... See, the smart people now are starting to ask questions. See, they're not getting in on the hype. They're getting in on the fundamentals. Jade's asked again, do you recommend a payment system for bill payments in Australia which avoid high fees? Okay, Jade, the best system is to get away high fees is basically shop at a merchant that is peer-to-peer, so from your wallet to their wallet. I have been using livingroomofsatoshi.com for my Ergon bill and my fuel card. They are basically my only expenses that I have that I cannot pay with Bitcoin Cash, like peer to peer. So I use Living Room of Satoshi. The good thing about Living Room of Satoshi, I think it's like a 1% fee, which is basically the same as an exchange anyway. But that type of stuff there, your Ergon bill and stuff like that, don't, where you got to say your fee, you're better off paying that in Australian dollars and supporting a Bitcoin Cash merchant. I checked them out. Unfortunately, their fees are quite high. Look, Jade, if you can get back to me of another payment platform, I'd be really interested in it. That's the one I use because I'm up at Satoshi level already in the ranking system, and I get a lot of say flyby points. I get a lot of points, like cashback rewards. You know what I'm saying? I got a razor for my bald head. I cashed out there. So my Ergon bill is every 3 months. So, and my my fuel bills once a month. So yeah. So those sorts of bills, don't worry about paying in Bitcoin Cash. For me, I earn that, so I do. But for the normal person, I would say pay those bills in fiat currency and encourage your merchants on board, cafe, restaurant, and spend it there. Have a good night out, have some fun, use it, bless them with it. If there's no merchants in your area, just choose a restaurant that could do, or a cafe that could do with more customers. How are you finding living outside the traditional financial system? Do you find it's getting better or worse, or the same? Living outside the financial system. That's a good question, Fana. For me, it's better here in Townsville, in the Bitcoin Cash City, because I've got like 170 places where I can go. If I want to get a helicopter ride, private helicopter flight, I can just go to Townsville Helicopters. There's another one there. We actually got 2 helicopter companies. I didn't onboard them. Someone onboarded them themselves. I've got across the road from where I live, I've got a massage place, a Thai restaurant, a grandma's there, a bakery. What else is there? I'm hoping to get a juice place on board. There used to be Watermark. Watermark is not accepting Bitcoin Cash anymore because they got taken over by new owners. Hopefully they come back on board. Watermark was doing $10,000 to $15,000 a month in Bitcoin Cash revenue. That's big money, right? And that's not coming from me. That's coming from other people using Bitcoin Cash and spending it there. Oasis Motel, they accepted. I lived there for a couple of months while looking for my property that I'm in now. Lots of people playing. So anyway, go back to you, Jade. And Jade and Fanta. Yeah. So back to you, Fanta. I'm finding it easier on a level where I can go and shop at places, and being a regular there keeps the staff tuned into, we've got an alternative payment method. Because if you don't use it enough, sometimes you find their tablet will be flat, or it's not charged, or not charged, or needs updating, stuff like that. So because I'm a regular customer and I'm going to try and visit more of them, I curate. I look after these businesses here. I'll go around, make sure they're all going good. I regularly buy my groceries from these places. I spoil my wife with flowers and a massage and stuff like that. I take my daughter out on a date. I take my daughter to a date down at grandma's, and we have good father-daughter type talks. My son, I take him out. We've got homeschooling on Bitcoin Cash. A lot of teachers lost their job during COVID and restrictions and stuff going on. So now I'm able to bless the community, the people that have lost their jobs, by helping support their businesses that have been locked out of the system because of these things. So I'm finding it easier. The thing that I would say though is some of my merchants are getting scared because it has dropped so much, particularly last week. It's like this month it's dropped like 30%. And one of my guys rung me up and he goes, you know, I'm missing $100 from my account. He calls it account. It's from your wallet. And he goes, yeah. And so when I looked there, I found out that, yeah, he actually had the 30% was missing. So repeat sales for guys like that will basically help them come up, and he'll get that $100 quick smart. You know, the thing that customers really care about is customers and people going through their doors and exposure. So a service that I offer, going back to Fana and Jade, where you're living, right? If there's no one accepting Bitcoin Cash, choose a cafe or something like that and say, look, I like to support your business. You know, I like you. You do great cups of coffees, great meals here. Can we do a crypto meetup here? And then people will come here and they will spend Bitcoin Cash here. And you can either keep the Bitcoin Cash, you know, as a way of dipping your toe into the cryptocurrency market if you want to underwrite yourself. Or, you know, we've got people that come to these crypto meetups and they often want to buy crypto without going to the exchange. Or you can offer to buy the whole lot yourself, right? So this actually happened to me on the Gold Coast. Sunny there at Mean Beans Cafe. Had a crypto meetup there. We had 13 people come to my very first meetup, you know. 13 people came. There was only 5 people that had Bitcoin Cash, right? So the others, though, were keen, interested. You know, they were into XRP and Solana and Ethereum and all that sort of stuff. But when they saw me having the ability to spend my crypto to buy wedges with sour cream and sweet and sour sauce, they loved it. Bitcoin Cash podcast. Bitcoin Cash City and Gold Coast have a few BCH merchants. I'm planning to go to Means Beans next weekend. Oh, you're on the Gold Coast, are you? That's great. That'd be good if you can say g'day to Sonny for me. I'm hoping and praying that he still accepts Bitcoin Cash. Brisbane. Okay, that's awesome. Brisbane. I spoke at a crypto conference, a crypto meetup there in Brisbane. And I recommend too, while I'm thinking about it, Jeremy here from the Bitcoin Cash podcast. Everyone go and like and subscribe his podcast, because this guy on him and Jet, they have guys like myself that do with like retail adoption and merchant adoption, like retail type spending habits, to like programmers and people from all walks of life. So it's a really broad-based podcast where you can get an overall educational feel on it, you know. Yeah, so I recommend the Bitcoin Cash podcast. He's on Twitch as well. He's on Twitch. He's on Twitch. That's where you can see it live, and then later he puts it on YouTube. So he's a great guy. I was blessed to hang out with him and Jet back a while ago. I think it was episode 48 or 49. I think it was 48. Episode 48. That was a good time. That was good. That was a good time. Any other questions? So there are smart people getting into Bitcoin Cash now that are not grabbing into the hype. they are the smart people. The foolish people, right? It's like the real estate market, you know. I had a real estate developer. He was actually Indonesian, and he's been on Forbes and he's been on Bloomberg and stuff like that. Millionaire, nice guy. He's like one of these rich people that drive a Mercedes and stuff like that. And when he goes to church, he'll park it up the road and walk to church with his family and stuff like that. So you know, he's just treated like a normal person and stuff like that. Real top guy. Anyway, Ewan, he said to me, Ewan Sidney, I can't pronounce his name because I'm a Aussie and a redneck. We're gonna need speech therapy. But um, uh, um, Ewan said to me, Jason, you need to buy out Blacktown, right? And this is back before the 2000 Olympics and all that, right? Or it might have been after the 2000 Olympics, yeah. And I'm the nard about it. He said, Jason, you got to buy out there. You got big blocks of land, right? You got big blocks of land, and it's really cheap. You can go out there, and I tell you, you can subdivide it and develop. That's Bitcoin Cash right now. Bitcoin Cash, it's out of sight, out of mind. It's like 20, you know, number 20 or whatever down on the market cap, right? And people, it's out of sight, out of mind. But the blockchain's big, where you can fit so many transactions and you can do so much. On top of that, you can do Ethereum type stuff on there. It's called an Ethereum machine. So you got smart Bitcoin Cash, right? Which basically runs alongside Bitcoin Cash, right? And instead of costing, you know, a lot of money to run your Ethereum your smart contract or whatever, like $100 just to test something out, it costs you fraction of a cent. You know, they burn a little BCH. So what happens when they burn a little BCH? It removes that supply from the global Bitcoin Cash supply, which actually pushes the price up, you see. So it doesn't matter if you're in the third world country or first world country, whatever amount of Satoshis you have in Bitcoin Cash, it raises all boats. You know what I'm saying? That's why I love it. So you've got ability to do NFTs, smart contracts, 15 times faster, way cheaper, and you're able to use it as a currency. Bitcoin Cash podcast says that, yeah, people in Bitcoin Cash now are front running the trend and setting themselves up with the industry skills and contacts for when it booms. He's absolutely right. I'm on the same page. Fanta says BCH is the base layer, number 27 in the CTH charts, in the charts, I think that he meant. I'm so mad BTC was decapitated. BCH speakers. I'm so mad that BTC, Bitcoin Core, was decapitated. BCH speakers for itself. Bitcoin Cash speaks for itself. Love smart BCH too. So much innovation going on. So Bitcoin Cash is the property that the wise man that's been in real estate and made his money in real estate is telling you to buy now before everyone else figures it out that it's doing really well. You can do so much on it. You can, like where I work, there's Emergent Coding, Aptizio, Ekfin. There's three major companies there, right? And Aptizio and Code Valley, the stuff that they're working on is just mind-blowing. It's just mind-blowing what they're working on, you know what I mean? And then you've got accountants like Ekfin, like the accounting firm. You've got 170 other merchants that are, you know, from your tradesmen to big companies to chain stores like auto markets and stuff like that. It's really growing. And so people are seeing me get around. Something I'm gonna say, something that's been a trend lately is scams. I've got I've had people come to me and they've been scammed by a cryptocurrency scam or a trading scam. Now, you the best way to make money, right? The best way to invest is what I call the lazy man's investment, is to basically buy your satoshis, buy your Bitcoin cash. When I say Bitcoin, I mean Bitcoin cash, right? And put it away. Get BTC too if you want, but I'm bullish on BTH, right? You put that aside, and then I spend, but put that aside and let that accumulate. That's the lazy man's way of investing, and it's the safest way of investing, right? Because you're not putting $160,000, right, all at once. You cost average it out, right? And you don't put away more than you can afford to lose, right? So if you're worried about losing it, go, okay, how much can I gamble? If I was to go to if I was to go out and get on the piss, get on the alcohol, or if I was to go out and go and play the pokies or play poker or whatever, if that's $300, if that's $50, or if that's $10, just put that aside. Just put that aside. That's the lazy man's way of investing for the future. You know what I'm saying? So, like for me, and it's funny because Bitcoin. Okay, Fana says you're spot on. Keep BCH off the exchanges. Don't put it in Celsius or any other schemes. Hardware wallet's the way to go. Yeah. So I actually onboarded a church on Tuesday night, right? This church came together and I was in a board meeting, and they were pretty positive, but then I had some really good questions. And one of the guys said to me is that, I don't like this idea because it's very volatile. We've had cryptocurrencies crash hard and there's scams and stuff like that. And I told him this. I said, listen, mate, not all cryptocurrencies are the same. Not all cryptocurrencies are created equal. The ones that you're talking about are basically stable coins that they call stable coins, are basically just a remake of the fraudulent, fragile system that we have today that is being digitalized, right? And it's the same, and what's happening with them is the same way as these big wigs like George Soros and stuff like that, how they collapse whole countries' economies. It's the same thing, my brother. It's the same thing. So what you want to do is, if you're going to accept a cryptocurrency, is one of limited edition that's very versatile. And Bitcoin Cash is very versatile. If you have a visiting minister, or you've got a need at the church, say someone needs groceries or something like that, you can get a hotel room with it. You can buy groceries with it. You can send it overseas to your orphanages that you support, to the overseas missions that you do in the Philippines and stuff like that. And you can send that money to the Philippines, and whether they use it Bitcoin Cash locally, peer to peer, or they convert it in pesos, it doesn't matter. You're still saving money on sending that over. You know what I mean? And it's quick. It's instant. Or, you can just let it, doesn't matter what the price is. Yeah, it goes down, but the donation is still going to be the same. So if someone's donating $100 a week, you're actually getting more. And I talked about grams of gold, right? Because I'm trying to put it in the way. So just say gold was $1,000 an ounce, and then it's worth $100 an ounce, right? No, so if it was $1,000, just I work in kilograms. So is it $100, $1,000 a kilogram, and then it ends up being, I'm confusing myself. I'm confused. I'm tired. It's basically like this, right? You get more grams of gold while the market is down than you get it when it yeah, $100 a gram. Yeah. So you get so just say, you know, $100 a gram. Yeah. So you actually get more grams while it's low, and then when it goes up, you've actually got more. The better thing is so if I was to give you a gold coin, how are you going to know that one, it's legit gold coin, and two, how are you going to divide that into bits to pay different people? You can't. Bitcoin Cash is better than gold because there's only 21 million. There's only 21 million ever, right? And if we've got 8 billion people, or 9 billion people, or it goes up to 12 billion people, or whatever, that amount, that 21 million stays the same. It stays the same. And so as adoption grows, the value lifts with it. Okay. So, you know, and one of the guys says, look, it's coming in, it's a donation. So it doesn't matter about the price, it's a donation. And I said, that's exactly right. So, you know, if $100 when it's at the top is like 0.001, and now it's down low and it's not 0.001 anymore, it's 1, right? When it goes up, all of a sudden back to where it was before, you made 10 times the amount without doing something. And the Bible says this, right? The Bible says this about the people with the talents. And Jesus said this to one guy. He said, you fool, why did you bury your money for? You could at least put it into somewhere and invested that money. At least I would get an interest. And I said to these guys, I said, look, just say I'm a guy that's got no talent except I've got money, right? And my money is Bitcoin Cash. Because I can tell you now, when I come to this church, it's going to be Bitcoin Cash. So if I tithe, or if I donate $100 a week, right? I'm not tell your congregation to tithe Bitcoin Cash, but it just allows you and me, like it allows me to give $100 a week in Bitcoin Cash that will grow, right? I know it will grow between now and 4 years' time. And it allows you, when you do your live streams, you can have a watermark QR code in the corner of the screen. So someone in America or wherever in the world, or maybe in WA, Western Australia, they got Bitcoin Cash, or maybe you get like the US soldiers come in when they do their army fighting drills. They come in and they go to church. They go to your church, right? They can donate without worrying about American dollars converting into Australian. They can just donate there. So you can get donations from around the world by having a QR code as a watermark on the corner of your screen there when you do your live streaming, and people can donate. It's a no-brainer for me. It's a win-win situation. I feel good as a person coming to your church that I've donated something that has a potential to grow. If it doesn't, well, it's a donation anyway. You've got the benefit of increasing your wealth over time. This is why Jeremy QR code is on his great podcast. Yeah. So Jeremy on his podcast, that's a great example. Thank you, Fana, for bringing that up. So Jeremy with the Bitcoin Cash podcast, he has the QR code on his podcast, so anyone around the world can donate. Bitcoin Cash podcast says, how's your retention? Retention. I've lost two merchants. So in these 3 weeks, I've onboarded 14 merchants, and I've lost 2. And the one was lost because they weren't getting enough customers, and the other one was lost the watermark, the famous watermark that was at the Bitcoin Cash conference. Stupid move by the guys that took it. They basically sold it, and new owners came in. So the new owners don't know anything about Bitcoin Cash, and they just said we're not accepting it. So yeah. So when I first started, there was about 80 merchants. It dropped down to around about 54, right? Because some went bankrupt, some closed down because of COVID, some stopped accepting it because of lack of promotion and lack of usage. So they are the reasons why they've closed down. A lot of it was because of COVID. The second reason was not many people were using it. So, Jeremy from the Bitcoin Cash podcast, how do we maintain retention? I'm going to tell you right now, and I didn't say this on your podcast, but this is how I've been retaining retention because the market's crashed bad. And I've got some guys that are skitty, some guys that are like nervous because it's dropped. One that I've just onboarded, TSV, was a bit worried about it. He's going, I've lost $100. I said, no, you haven't lost it. It's just the market's dipped 30%. It's still there. You will make that and more when it starts to recover. So I says, my solution to merchant retention is this: hold meetups at places where you can have meetups that accept Bitcoin Cash, right? So they get more customers through their door. Cross promote their advertising and have a schedule where you can always promote them. So as a merchant in my mind, go, you know what? I'm not getting any Bitcoin Cash traffic as people buying with it, or I've lost money on paper because I've had one here and it's dropped 30% since the last transaction. But at least these guys here promote my business anyway, so I'm getting free promotion out of them. So hold meetups at a place where you can hold meetups at, promote them, and then work on increasing retail expenditure, adoption and expenditure. So something that I've been focusing on in my spare time. So in my paid time, I'm working with merchants. In my spare time, I'm working with everyday people, helping them to get on board Bitcoin Cash, investing safely, teaching them how to be safe in the cryptocurrency world, and helping and encouraging to spend as well to support our merchants. That's what I've got at the moment. If you've got any tips and tricks, I would like to know about that, because I've got a lot of people on my plate. Yeah, it is dedication. Yeah, so I literally just finished work at 9 p.m. Literally, just finished. Mainly, I did go to a church service for like an hour and a half, but yeah, then I went back to work and had a meeting with someone, taught them, saved some guy getting scammed today, and helped some people get on board with Bitcoin Cash, retail though, and then with my retail adoption, I go to them like, where do you like to shop out? Do you have a business? Is there a business that can help get on board? So with your Bitcoin Cash, you can go there. Does your job involve trying to dodge Gabriel? I'm not getting into infighting or anything like that. Gabriel is his own man. I respect him. I honor him as a person. I love bouncing off him. I love talking with him when we do talk, because he has an outlook. He has a point of view. I have, I talk to him because it stops me from being in a bubble. You know what I mean? I like to hear different points of view. Sometimes I talk to him and I get revealed that there's a blind spot. Yeah. I will give Gabriel credit on this, right? So someone said something about spending BCH on the dip. Dude, Gabriel tipped a guy that owned a yeah. So the okay, I'll finish about Gabriel and then I'll go on to you, Jade. So I really loved and really give props to Gabriel when he tipped a guy $1 at a ice cream shop, right? And then so he tipped this guy $1 at the ice cream shop, and I think it went up like 11 cents or something like that. Anyway, he talked to that ice cream shop owner again, and he was really encouraged. He was really encouraged by that. And so Gabriel's a good man. He's good with people. He's a good social person. He does meetups and stuff like that. And he is an investor, and he's got a different way of speaking to people than I do. And so he organized me to go up to Mount Tambourine, and in that night I onboarded 5 merchants that night. I onboarded the ice cream guy, the convenience store, the hotel, the Opal guy, the Opal Museum, Outback Opals, and a tennis player. Sorry, it's actually 6. So Jade Baz asks, the average person will also ask, why use BCH over fiat currency? What is the incentive? All right, so the incentive, Baz, is privacy, if you want privacy, right? Potential capital growth, speed in cross-border transactions, personal sovereignty and control over your own finance, right? The banks won't save you. Like we've seen, like just say, right, someone says I'm a white supremacist because I've got bald head, right? Oh, Bitcoin Jason's a Nazi. He's a white supremacist, right? And then I get my PayPal gets blocked, banned, or whatever. Then Westpac bans me, and then I'm kicked off Twitter, and then I'm kicked off Facebook, and I can still function as a human being on Bitcoin Cash. I don't need the world. I don't need Australian dollars. I do not need it. And plus, Bitcoin Cash, you got smart contracts, NFT. So if you're an artist or musician, you can make your own NFT, and you can have a service tied to that NFT that will be a value and build your business on it. So Bitcoin Cash podcast says, yes, the average person needs an incentive, which is why I think a lot of it is about getting them the idea and the vision, not just the economic angle. 100, yeah, I love that, because otherwise you're competing with every other fiat and crypto system. That's exactly right. And I said this to Felicity, my social media director. I said, people must know the why before the buy. Yeah. Instant settlement, non-reversible. Yeah. It's great for drop shipping. If you got drop shipping, if you're a drop shipping company, Bitcoin Cash is perfect for drop shipping. And we've got Planet Essentials that does that sort of stuff. Non-reversible, runs 24/7. Limited edition. So just say Australia gets invaded by the Chinese, God forbid, and all of a sudden we've got the Chinese yen, right? I can still function. If I need to convert into the yen, I can. Or I can build my own community, or be like the Amish. I can be like an Amish, right? And I can trade within the community. But not only that, is the currency that I'm trading within the community, it might be locally, but it's actually globally used. So as it's been used in local tribes or different factions, I was talking to an Aboriginal elder actually, and they were looking at using it as part of their sovereignty, using Bitcoin Cash as a way of reclaiming their sovereignty, the land, and then they got their own currency, which is not reinventing the wheel, but basically piggybacking off Bitcoin Cash because it is so cheap, whether it's third world country to a first world country, everyone's starting to use it. So, yeah, a rising tide lifts all boats. Any other questions before I go? Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Baz. Thank you, Jade. Thank you, Fanta. There was someone else here before. Maxi. Thank you, Maxi. Yeah, I need to get some sleep. Yeah. I'm actually what's his name? Fetish or something like. What's his name? Starts with an F. He asked me if I would like to go onto the Twitter talking thing. So I love you guys. Jeremy, all you guys working hard. Jay, keep in touch with me. Let me know on how you're going with your Bitcoin Cash meetups. How's the, how Sonny's going there with on the Gold Coast. If he's not accepting Bitcoin Cash anymore, right? I supplied him with a tablet, like a tablet, to accept Bitcoin Cash. If he's not accepting Bitcoin Cash anymore, Jade, you have my permission to take that tablet, and if you've got someone on board, say the cafe or something like that, to use that to onboard that merchant and supply them with a tablet. Okay? Yeah. Any other questions? My internet may drop out because I am going into a 5-story building. So, yeah, I do these lives to be a bit more spontaneous and educational. Do I like any other coins? That's a trick question, I guess. I do like other coins. I was a bit of a fan of Dash for a while. Now I really like Bitcoin Cash because of this. It can act like Zcash and Monero for privacy. It can act like that without the shortcomings that Monero. It's actually really slow. It's really slow. It's not good for payments. With Bitcoin Cash, I can shuffle or fuse my coins as to have a privacy, and then go and use that as a instant payment. Yeah. Jazz, if you've got a YouTube channel and you're doing, if you're blogging your experiences and stuff like that, please let me know. I will subscribe to you and follow your journey and support you in whatever way I can. Monero, same sort of thing. I don't actually own any Monero, but I like the idea of privacy, but I've got Bitcoin Cash. Ethereum, I like Ethereum, but then got Smart BCH. So anything you can do on Ethereum, you can basically do 15 times faster and cheaper with Smart Bitcoin Cash. So that's about it. Yeah. I like BCH the most, but worried about putting it all in just one coin. Well, nothing's stopping you from investing to others, like you can do that if you want. I would just encourage you to be an ambassador for Bitcoin Cash, because it's us as the community. It's us. It's up to every one of us to do our part to help grow and utilize the system. Just remember, 10,000 Bitcoins was the start of a massive hype into Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Now I could buy the same meal deal for 0.155 BCH. I mean, Monero impound for that. Yeah. So my idea with Monero and Zcash is that it is on the radar of being like a really of a privacy coin, where Dash and Bitcoin Cash, it's not as known as a privacy coin. So with Bitcoin Cash, you can and Dash, you can use it as trackable. Like your identity is sort of like anonymous but trackable, or you can make it hard for it to follow. Make it anonymous. But yeah, look, I'm not going to defriend you or anything if you got other crypto, but I'll love you if you pump Bitcoin Cash, or you promote Bitcoin Cash and use it. I really want you to use it. Don't just stack it, just use it. It's great having Monero, Zcash, Dash. I hate XRP, but all these other coins, right? But what I really would like to see is people actually using it. So I'm training my daughter to do NFTs and artwork on Smart BCH. Hopefully, I'm not sure if this. Ripple. Yeah. It's owned by a company, guys. You're making. People would say about Bitcoin Cash, about filling the bags of Bitcoin of Roger Ver. It's the other way around. The people that are buying XRP are pumping the bags off the XRP mob. So anyway, guys, I'll show you my view. So I'll just show you my view at night. This is where I live. Maybe I can turn this camera around. So this is where I live. On the top floor. Over there, that's actually a mountain. Usually that mountain's all lit up with lights and stuff like that. But maybe inflation is causing power prices to go up. Roger is already loaded from BTC holdings to, yeah. Not just BTC, but every other fork that's going on. eCash, Bitcoin SV, stuff like that. But see, Bitcoin Cash is more than just Roger. Roger likes Bitcoin Cash because it fits into his ethics and what basically money should be. And I respect that. And that's why I like Roger. That's why I actually adopted and basically on the same page as Roger. Right? Anyway, guys, I've spoken for over an hour. Love yous, guys. Just remember, you've got Bitcoin Cash. That means I am, we're all Satoshi. Let's do our part. And I look forward to seeing your results and what you're doing. All right. Roger comes from a place where he was facing punishment. Yeah. It's same thing. And you know what? The same thing that Roger went through. I'm thinking sometime in the future we'll all go through a similar path. So you're better off getting started now before it's too late. Love yous, guys. Take care. Be blessed.